to move back east now with our next company. I know some people have been asking for more Ontario company based, and our next guest is in Ontario. And here we are. Jan, hello. Can you hear us and see us okay? I think you're just on mute though. There we go. Let's see.
Yeah, he is on mute.
There we go. Should be good.
How are you guys?
Good, good. Thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. I can be Ian or Jordanna today. I think that's my name. I call something different every day. That's fine.
Floor is all yours. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Well, thanks. Thanks so much for having me. And I know you guys have been sitting on video all day, so appreciate you sitting in. I've been sitting in on a few of the sessions so far, and everything's been great. And it's just makes me excited about the industry. You know, I think there's been a lot of kind of unfortunate news and bad news and layoffs and things in the past while, but tons of awesome companies here today and lots of people hiring. And so it makes me really excited for the industry as a whole that hopefully we're turning this corner and kind of entering into a new phase of kind of growth for a lot of these companies coming online. I'll just share the screen here and then kick off with my presentation. Everyone see that okay?
Looks good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so as you mentioned, so my name's Ian Hayes. I'm one of the co-founders of Motif Labs. I'm currently the CEO as well. They kept me on this long, so I'll keep doing it as long as they keep wanting me to stay in this role. But it's just been an amazing journey for me and my partner. We started the business back in 2017. Applied under the ACMPR and have just kind of cobbled and scraped our way together into what Motif is now, where we're both kind of startup hustlers and still have a small team to this day. One of the things I'll speak about, but we currently have 15 employees at our site here in Elmer, Ontario. And yeah, just recently licensed on May 15th by Health Canada. So we're a fairly new entrant into the market with standard processing license. And we are looking to kind of shake things up a little bit. We're doing things a little bit differently at our site and also coming to market with just, you know, a really good mindset, strong balance sheet, great group of investors, and really a plan to focus and execute over these next couple of years as we get into the market. So I'll just go through a quick presentation, and I've been hearing some of the Q&A, and there's been tons of good discussion, so I'd rather save a bit more time for that. So I will get through this as quick as I can, just let you guys know a little bit more about kind of who we are and what we do, and then I would love to turn it over for questions here. So as I said, Motif, so we're a cannabis extraction facility located in Elmer, to be specific. For those who don't know the town, it's about 30 minutes south of London, Ontario. So about half of our team right now live in London and commute. It's about 35 minutes a day to get down here from London. And then we also have a lot of folks who live in kind of the small towns in and around Elmer. There's St. Thomas, Tillsonburg, and Elmer itself as well. So pretty good smattering of people from kind of all around. But it's a great little town, kind of has everything you need for such a small place, but very friendly environment. It's actually been a little bit refreshing the past few months. I don't even think you would know there's a pandemic going on at all down here some days. It's just very small town and relaxed. People are still being safe and everything, but it's just kind of an escape from the big cities where things are much more kind of locked down and serious and things like that. But we actually launched in what's called the Elgin Innovation Center. It's formerly Imperial Tobacco Complex. It was like a 1 million square foot complex. Imperial Tobacco left town in 2008, and now it's kind of been turned over into, I think there's 23 companies operating here on site. So really cool space, but we've got 20,000 square feet that we've moved into, and then we have another 60,000 square feet that we can expand into over time as needed. And yeah, it's just a great site all around in terms of our facility and build out and security and parking and kind of amenities and that sort of thing. So for employees looking to kind of join our team, it's a really cool spot to work. And our site's actually in one of the old tobacco drying buildings. So it's kind of funny seeing it kind of come full circle to coming back to having cannabis in the building instead of tobacco, but still dried plants in here. And we, so although we're a new startup, we have partnered with some key operators in the US market and really designed our process and our factory based on a process that's really been honed and perfected over the last 5 years. And as a result, we've only been operating for a month, but we are already producing, low to mid 90s cannabinoid, highly pure oil with a very efficient process. And so we've very quickly been able to kind of ramp up and get up to speed with like our throughput and oil quality as well, which has been really awesome to kind of see the ops team pull together into that. So I mentioned there's a long journey leading up to kind of September 19 when we broke ground, raised a couple rounds of funding. I'll tell you a funny story about how I met my partner on the team slide, but construction started in September 2019. We submitted our evidence package to Health Canada in January 2020. Equipment commissioned and validated, everything on site kind of running in April, and obviously January to April the world changed. And so we got into a little bit of a black hole with like our licensing and uncertainty and figuring out what was going on. But luckily I think because we'd applied under ACMPR, we were pretty high up the queue when Health Canada kind of got back up to full speed and looking at applications again. And so we got our RMIs on May 1st and we're licensed just this past May 15th. And we already have turned around and got our sales amendment filed in less than 6 weeks. So those who know the industry well will know that's a pretty quick turnaround on that. I think speaks to our team's focus, drive, and kind of ability to execute on goals. The market from when we sort of raised money and started the business, we were very much looking at a toll processing model, working with a lot of large cultivators and supplying them with bulk oils. And we have really noticed a drastic shift in demand kind of downstream. So it's either the LPs still looking to work with us, but looking for us to go farther downstream in terms of finishing products or getting as close as we can. Or it's unlicensed third-party brands, which are popping up. Some of them are super cool and doing some awesome stuff. And they, of course, don't have a license. So they would require us to use our license for white labeling. And so that is why we made such a dramatic focus on that ever since we got our license to turn around and get our sales license in. So we expect to have that license in kind of late August, early September timeframe, based on what we're hearing now from timelines. So hopefully starting to do some brand fulfillment this fall as well, in addition to bulk oils. Just a couple of product shots of what we've been pumping out of the facility. Luckily for us, we have a couple semi-professional photographers on staff. So every so often they head back into production with their gear. And so yeah, if you follow us on Instagram, we're always posting content that we think people would find interesting and engaging. So right now, Motif 1.0, what goes on day to day at the facility? We're making distillate, we are making bulk vaporizers for clients, and we're making tinctures. In terms of 2.0, we're exploring a lot of things. We definitely want to keep our focus. We have noticed a lot of the early entrants to market have, in our opinion, tried to do too many things and tried to be sort of too many things to too many people. We really want to retain the focus. So anything that goes into that 2.0, there's going to be a lot of research and thought that goes into it before we move in. But we are actively working on internal R&D for bulk water solubles to hopefully work with beverage companies. We are pretty close to being able to offer CBD isolate. It's a couple extra steps beyond CBD distillate, so we're hoping to add that. And then also terpene extraction is something we're getting asked about a lot from a lot of LPs. And so we are actually, we could almost bump that to 1.0 because we've started pulling terpenes as well in this past week off of flower for companies looking for full spectrum products. Just in terms of the team, again, I feel like this is really as much me interviewing anyone on the line as us potentially interviewing you down the line. You guys are going to want to join a team you kind of like and believe in the space, and there's lots of opportunities to join teams. So just quickly about myself, I had a software company for almost 10 years in Montreal before starting Motif. It was actually in the infectious disease space, so the whole pandemic has hit a little bit close to home for me and my former life. And more recently, before Motif, I was actually running the entrepreneurship program for Western University for 4 years. So an incubator accelerator program working with hundreds of startups. And in 2016 is when I first started to work with a couple of cannabis startups that were entering the space. And right beside me on the screen there, Mario, my co-founder, he came in to pitch for our accelerator in October 2017. He was working at Imperial Oil at the time as a chemical process engineer and had done kind of a deep dive on the extraction space. And long story short, we hit it off. And 3 months later, I quit my job at Western and we went at it. Mandy Kang, our Chief Revenue Officer, is located in Toronto, which is really helpful to have a kind of a full-time body located in the GTA, as so many LPs are based there. And again, background in the natural gas industry, in sales as well. And Mandy's a huge support with investor relations and sales in Toronto. And then Greg Toner is our CFO, and he's with us on a part-time basis right now until we can kind of grow and get off the ground a bit more. Our ops management team, again, we're a team of 15, so you're seeing kind of 7 of the 15 on the team. Anna and Lucy kind of run our front end and back end operations, and they are actually both from Imperial Oil as well, ExxonMobil. So we're pulling heavily from the oil and gas industry. It's a really good skill set match. We're just kind of doing what every oil refinery does on a smaller scale. And so we find that's a really good place for us to pull in terms of hiring is from the oil and gas industry for our operations positions. And then Nav, our QARA manager, worked at Health Canada on the cannabis file and has some experience at Pepsi and also veterinary pharmaceuticals. So that's kind of our core team. And then we've obviously added 8 more folks fairly recently. In terms of our culture, we try and keep things really fun and light. Again, we all have got a bit of a startup-y background. And so, you know, our 3 core values are really integrity, collaboration, and quality. And we build that into everything we do, customers and employees. And, you know, we really believe in being open, transparent. My office is like a giant room in the back of the facility that like anyone can come in at any time and just chat about anything going on. And I often just walk around the site a lot of the day and just ask if people need help. And, you know, it's really that culture of wearing a lot of hats, being that startup and just doing whatever it takes to get the job done. And that's what everyone on our team kind of does who gets hired. And as a result, you know, I think we give people a lot of opportunities to learn as well. And so one of the cool things about Motif is just because you get hired for a particular role, if you have interest out of that role, you know, we will actively take the time to give you learning opportunities. Whether it's learning a bit more about the business or sales or within production, trying to pick up a new skill set. We're all about cross-training and allowing people to grow. And yeah, that was one cool thing that happened just earlier this year is being voted one of the best places to work in London for 2020, just based on employee feedback and culture of kind of working environment. In terms of available opportunities, there's probably even a couple more been added to the website since we made this post. We are starting to hire again now that we're licensed. We're on a bit of a hiring frenzy. So definitely looking for production technicians, lab tech. We just posted a role yesterday as well for a financial controller. And as the summer goes on, you know, we will be looking to add a number of other roles, both on the business and production side. We are going to be adding a second shift to our operations in kind of August, September. So our production team essentially will need to double, if not more. So we will be looking for more supervisor type positions as well with production as well as sales. So we definitely keep our careers page very up to date. And we also post anything available on our LinkedIn page and Instagram page. So if you are following us through any of those means, we are working on a mailing list, but we also don't love to spam people with emails, and a lot of people don't seem to read those things. So just following us along or kind of staying in touch with a member of our team is probably the best way to figure out what we have going on. Generally, the skills we're looking for is post-secondary, you know, for the cameras in front of the presentation. I can't fully see everything there, but definitely lab or production experience on the processing side. You know, experience working in that kind of GPP, GMP environment is really helpful just for kind of training. Honestly, though, we're just looking for really good people that are willing to learn as well. You know, and being a small team, you know, we're looking for people who are excited to grow into, you know, what we hope this time next year is kind of 50, 60, 70 person company, and people who are kind of want to be along for that ride and maybe grow into roles as they go along. So that's, I think, about it for a formal presentation. Our website's motiflabs.ca. And again, I meant the LinkedIn and Instagram there flipped around, but Instagram's motif.labs and our LinkedIn is just kind of Motif Labs. And again, that's where you can find everything you need to find with respect to jobs. And that's it. I'm going to stop sharing here, and there we go. So I hope that
yeah, I'm sorry. You can go ahead and click on the Q&A button at the end of below the screen. There's a few questions actually, if you'd like to answer some of those.
Okay, yeah. So for sure, we will be adding to our quality team. Nothing posted live yet, but I did mention we're adding second shift to our site in the very near future. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for on our job board. Operations, where we're hiring for right now. We also will be hiring on the facility operations side as well. We've got one person on that team, but definitely need to be adding to that team as well. So. It's funny, from when we heard about the CanMar event having 0 roles posted to now we're here, and I think we've got 4 posted, and probably this time next week we might have 8 or 9 posted as well. So just one of those things with where we're at in our growth. But remote employees, we would potentially consider for non-production roles. Obviously, if you're hired for production, you kind of need to be here. Although we can run some of our equipment remotely, Health Canada regulations and security clearances and things, that's just kind of a no-go for us. We have 2 employees that are remote right now out of the 15, and yeah, definitely for some of the more sales or finance roles, I would say you don't have to be in Elmer. Ideally, you can be close. Again, we're a close, small team, so we like to see people sometimes. But if you're kind of in the GTA or Ontario area, I don't think that would exclude you from some of those roles. Let's see. Oh, good. Another fellow Western grad. Okay, we're in Elmer, not in London. So the former Imperial Tobacco site actually are in Elmer. As I said, though, most of our team lives in London and is kind of okay with that commute, especially if you live in kind of the southish end of London. It's a straight shot down to Elmer. We're jokingly looking for some houses we might rent in Elmer in the winter, because you get some pretty wicked snowstorms here with snow blowing across the road. Either that, or we may just buy everyone winter tires. But yeah, no, site and the whole team is in Elmer every day right now. Lab analyst would be most closely related, I guess, to our lab tech position. We don't do a ton of in-house testing. We do have an HPLC, and we're doing potency testing ourselves, but any other kind of more extensive testing we are sending out to kind of third parties. So not sure specific skill sets of kind of lab analysts, but if you check out kind of the lab tech, that might be the closest relation. No positions in Montreal. I do miss it there, though. I lived there for 6 years, so maybe I'll move back one day and we'll hire, but nothing right now. Open to hiring co-op and QC/QA. Definitely exploring the idea of co-ops. I know we definitely do want to help people in that role. It's been kind of difficult to date because everyone we hire has just been so core to the team and sort of needing them in for the long haul. But it is something we are looking at. We missed the deadline for some summer students this year, but definitely something that we are looking at. So if you are looking for kind of a co-op position, best advice would be to send an email to info@motiflabs.ca, and the person checking that email is actually heading up kind of our looking into co-op opportunities for students as well. So that would be my advice there. Is there more coming in, or? Oh, here we go.
No, not a question.
Best place to find good manufacturing engineers is Fanshawe. Definitely, we are tapped into Fanshawe College careers program. Yeah, thank you for that. Good comment. Their lab tech program as well is very interesting to us too. So we are chatting with the good folks at Fanshawe for sure. Oh, okay.
We have a few questions in the chat actually. We have sorry, so that would be okay. What are the products? Okay. About destruction method used at Motif for extract, what sort of products do you use? I don't know if that's a very relevant question, but maybe.
For destruction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can speak a little bit to that. Again, speaking of wearing many hats, I was actually helping with destruction today. So it's fresh in my head. So on the front end, the destruction of the raw materials after we've extracted the oil out, we are mixing with sawdust and water. as per Health Canada protocol right now. I will say though, and again, speaks to a bit of our culture. It's one thing we're all passionate about as well, is kind of reducing waste in the industry. And we're not happy with that current destruction method, but we're kind of doing it because we have to. But we're actually piloting some pyrolysis technology right now to see if we can actually turn our waste product into biofuel. Also chatting with the University of Guelph on some other ways we might be able to use that as fertilizer or something like that. But right now we are mixing that. And then on the back end, we are mixing our used ethanol with gasoline, and just, I won't get into the QA specs, but happy to follow up with whoever's, I guess, asking that question if they are closer to a role with us. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we'll be sharing all information for them to follow up with you. There's a more question. We have one last one. Okay. What would be the major challenge in the cannabis industry from a quality point of view, do you think?
That's a really good question. From a quality point of view, I would say one of the issues that seems to have come to light is just kind of the variability in like testing labs and third-party testing. And for us, for sure, when we're intaking a large quantity of feed materials, it's very much about like, how are we actually sampling that to determine what the potency was when we received it. We are obviously getting into kind of agreements with companies who are expecting a certain amount of oil back based on the potency. And so for us, that's probably the biggest quality issue, is like a little more of a streamlined process around like, what does that sampling look like, and how do you keep the quality high while also keeping like testing costs reasonable is kind of something. So we're kind of working ways into our agreement that we can do that in real time with clients. We really are seeking long-term partners and not one-off like tolling or production agreements. But we ourselves, just through sending samples to kind of the same sample to a few different labs, have noticed there is quite a bit of variability in what that potency is, and then on the back end, what the cannabinoid purity is. And so that's the biggest thing I think that we have to grapple with in terms of quality on our end.
Awesome. Well, I think that's pretty much everything. Jan, thank you so much again for taking the time to answer our questions and for your presentation. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, and thanks to you for hosting again, and for everything CanMar does for the industry, and for anyone on the call. Hopefully you find some positions you're interested in, and looking forward to chatting soon.
Absolutely. And again, we'll be putting all those people in touch with you. So stay tuned for some great talent joining.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Diane. You too. Bye.
Bye.